Good morning, Daniel. Can you hear me okay?
Now we're good. I forgot to click the join audio button.
All right. So if obviously I'm in a different space
Mm,
and my internet here is a little on the slow side. Now I'm
okay.
on my Wi-Fi here. Am I choppy? Because I can tether my phone and it comes off. If I tether my phone, it should be a better feed. So you let me know. Is it? I from what I can see, it's fine. But
Yeah, you look fine. I think the only thing that I can tell is that like it might be like a slightly lower streaming quality, but I mean it doesn't matter to me.
okay. Okay, and if at any point during this call today the you feel that the streaming quality is like, hey man, this is getting really challenging, let me know because I've got a data plan for my phone that allows me to stream. I've never had to use it, but and so where I'm calling from today is actually my cabin
Is
at
this
the
the one you were
lake.
talking about last night or yesterday morning?
Correct. Yeah. So it's kind of a dreary day outside, but nonetheless, yeah, there's times where I just need to get here and decompress because
Mm.
like you, I put in, extremely long days. And plus, my wife and I are both here now. She's leaving Friday. And then my father and my brother are coming out for a Father's Day weekend thing. So,
Oh, that's
a couple
awesome.
things. Yeah. Yeah. So, before I start the review, and you can see that I've kind of set up my little porch space with all of your notes, which is so I'm going to jump into a review with you in a quick sec. How did you like yesterday? Was there anything that you've had a chance to reflect on that was kind of like, wow, that was good? And
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. I was kind of thinking about the why statements, the questions that we were working through. And I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I think it was Craig's podcast from a while back, and he was talking about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and how his company's called $7 Productions, and
when
it's a
he had nothing but $7 in his pocket.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I know the story, but yeah, that's interesting.
No, and it was just kind of making me think about the name of my business, which is Holland Creative, and that's the name of the street I grew up on. It's also the place I went back to when I was broke and had nowhere else to go. And
Right.
so for me, it was just kind of like one of those story moments where I was like, that's kind of a similar story for me, and it kind of ties into those issues of all the questions about why. So anyway, I made that
Yeah.
connection. But other than that, I also had a really busy day yesterday, so I think my subconscious probably got to work, but I haven't really gotten a lot of time to digest a lot of that stuff. I was just looking
No
back at the
problem.
notes.
Yeah, and I fired you off quite the dense email with
Yes, much
with
appreciated though. Super
absolutely.
appreciate that.
Yeah, so again, my commitment to you is to make sure that I get you all of this content that we're going to go through together. And if we don't make it to the end of what I call my curriculum today, let's we'll I'm not just going to speak through this just for the sake of, hey, I said I'm doing it in 2 calls. That's just not the way I like to roll.
Okay.
I would much rather make sure that you get it all. You feel super comfortable with it. We
Yeah.
step into the dojo on Tuesday with Ron and a guy by the name of Shachov. His nick, he goes by Shaq. Super nice guy. Yeah, yeah. SHAQ. And it's going to be fun because I think you might have an opportunity to work with Shaq. He's got a closet organizing business where he direct to consumer, and his work is good. The challenge that I think he has is he has no clue in terms of what copy is,
Oh
and I
wow.
don't. Yeah, and I don't think he's working a list or anything. I mean, he can, yeah. So good
Yeah,
guy. I've
there's
known him for a long time, and I've done coaching with Shaq before, and I said you got to jump into the dojo. So he's hopping in, and then there's a guy in the fitness industry who works for a fitness manufacturer who was supposed to click on the PayPal button yesterday, and he didn't. And of course, fortunes in your follow up. I followed up with him this morning. He's replied to my email, but I haven't opened it yet. So,
okay.
So let's do a quick review together.
Sure.
And I'm actually gonna walk around with this so you can see what I'm. The cool thing about doing a review is, when I do this live with people, the way that our brains work is it doesn't have to be sequential. It's kind of so you, yeah. And you'll see there's a reason why I'm using so many different colors, because the way that the brain picks up on different things, because we have 3 different modalities of learning, right? We're visual, we're auditive, and we're kinesthetic. Women tend to be more kinesthetic. And I was thinking about you, in fact, and I'm digressing a little bit, but I think that it's something that you might appreciate. One of the things that I've focused on when I'm selling to women is I use the word safe. It's a power word. In society, women want to feel safe, and I've, of course, had many a conversation with different women in my lifetime, and in the approach to selling and everything else. But even if you use let's use the concept of in conversation in sales, or in the conversation of the SOS dojo. I've got women that are in the dojo with me, and I'll say, hey, listen, everybody, it's safe here. It's safe to make mistakes here. Now, both men and women want to be safe, but women in particular, that is a key word. I mean, a woman who's walking alone on the street and there's 4 men walking towards her, regardless of race, regardless of time of day, most women will tell me there's always a little bit of trepidation. There's like, like it is what it is, whether there's going to be cat calls, conversation, comments, whatever. Never mind if you're in a dark alley or anything like that. So the word safe, and I'll use the example of in the bike industry, ma'am, what's great about these particular brakes? They're hydraulic disc brakes. And, regardless of how they work, I'll tell you this much. It's stop on a dime. You're going to be so safe by using this braking system in comparison to what else is out there. And it's just thing, so I think in your copy, when you think of some of the people that you're dealing with, like, hey, this piece of exercise equipment you'll feel safe on. It's just a variety of things. Anyways, I was just thinking about you about that. So let's go over it. So we talked about your customer. Your primary customers are online. You said clothing, supplement, fitness, mindset, sales trainers. You've got coaches and course creators, and 80% of them could be found on groups like the Knowledge Business Brokers, the KBB, other Facebook groups. And then one of the things that you said is you went through the audit, the triage, the profit prospecting, that you're going to put in your own money before the client's money, which I think is it's going to be a big play. So then you're going to be able to manage it. And then the profit party, which was, I just think the concept is fantastic. We talked about planting seeds. We finished off the call yesterday with the best, better, good process, as opposed to good, better, best. So it's either or best, better, good, as opposed to good, better, best. And in the concept of planting seeds, everybody wants to purchase. They want to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So I'm going to give them options. And I was talking about this in my dojo yesterday, where I was telling them, hey, you know what? Because I was showing them this, because it was still on my desk. And I said, if you guys are only giving them one option, and this is what happened to you, like you gave somebody an option, then they went over to Isaac, then they went over to somebody else. And it came down to, people don't buy what you sell. They buy why you sell it. The what becomes, hey, I do copy. My price is this, my price is this. So it's price versus price. It's what versus what. If you get to the imagine space, like we talked about in the template, where imagine if we together were to able to eliminate that problem, what would that do for you? Suddenly it's not about price anymore. It's about the result. So the belief in what you have in terms of the power, your belief in what you sell and your belief in your why is powerful, because you are playing your A game. You're an authority. You're acknowledging people. You know that it's highest energy wins. We talked about standing up while you're on a phone call, right? That gives you a lot more energy. We talked about your why, right? It's about family. It's about, being able to provide for your wife, for yourself, your nephews, which is PH, not F, your niece. One nephew had said that they'd love to be able to, the dream is to be able to, support the family, which is huge, right? Because you want to be able to have stability for all these people. And you yourself are taking on that role as the new patriarch in the family, right? And you want to be able to build a life that you're proud of. And you, like me, you love to teach and give. You love to educate and provide value, which is awesome. You set the target that you're currently at 10K, goals at 20K. I think you can literally crush this number, truly. And how you're going to do that is either closing more sales and or increasing your cost. And realistically, it's doing both. Why are they calling you? Well, fact of the matter is you are the expert. Daniel, there's no question that you're the trusted advisor. This also comes back to belief, right? You've got to believe in what you've got going on. That they know that they need more online sales. They want to save time and money with their digital funnels. They've had a pivot of business model, and you want to save them from this. They need to automate sales. They have a lack of confidence in technology and writing. This is why this is your level of expertise. This is your space. You're the expert. You're the trusted advisor. And then we finished off yesterday with the template. And your template, as I'm moving this around, first things first, you're on the web, you're connecting with these people, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, getting them email, and then you get that confirmation. Keeping no off the table, it's, what's a good time for us to connect tomorrow? Is it 2 or 3? Or go ahead and click on my Calendly and tell me what time is good for you. And then you pre-call plan. Just a quick, 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time, and you go, okay, LinkedIn, Facebook, web, who are these people and what are they all about? And then it's, when you get on the call, it's like, hey, Daniel, great to see you, or great to hear. It's my pleasure to make this digital acquaintance. Listen, we've got 15 minutes because I've got another call that I got to get on in 20. So let's just get down to it. Tell me a little bit about who your customer is. We're going to talk for a couple minutes. You might want to deep dive a little bit on that. And then, so what's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in your business? And they're probably going to give you more than one. And you might also say, is that it, or is there anything else going on? Let them, peel away the layers of the onion and get deep. There's an exercise that Dean Graciosi calls 7 levels deep. And you can ask the why question 7 times. And that really I learned that in the KBB, by the way. And that really gets to the heart of the matter. And then once you know what these challenges are, you can say, well, and I want to be able to let you see it. So imagine, there you go, that's better. So imagine if we could eliminated that problem. If we, not you, imagine if we eliminated that problem. How would that change things for you right now? And then the big thing here is pause. Just let people respond. Adding these types of killer questions to your template are going to be able to help you get to the solution. The next part of it is, when do you want to implement these changes? You can ask a question like, by when do you want to have this done by? And that, again, I'm going to put all of this on in a Word document, and I'll let you manipulate it accordingly. So, by when? And then let them answer. Now, sometimes people are going to give you objections, and one of the rebuttals that I really like is, how does not working with me serve you right now? Or you can say, how does not working together, which I think is a little bit more powerful because it's teamwork based. And the other, again, power words is right now. This is why I put it on a Word document, because I'm falling off the page.
Oh, no worries.
Right.
Yeah, I'm taking notes too, so I can kind of
Excellent.
get it into my head.
Absolutely. You know, and I encourage it. Even if you don't go back and look at your actual notes, the subconscious mind will actually pick up on everything. And I mean, we have this computer is something really, really powerful. So again, if I you know, encapsulate the actual phone call, the goal is consistently putting myself in a position of, I am the expert. I'm building my know, like, and trust through asking questions, right? So again, that little trick that I like to play on people, you know, do you ever notice that when I ask you a question, I'm hooking your mind? And that's also with my tone of voice. So I get somebody and then I pause. I ask the question, I pause. And then it's like, okay. And by asking this template of questions, it's again, I go, okay, by when? And in that 15-minute call, after I'm done the call, or that 15 minutes are up, because by this point, you're running out of time. This is the next step. It's, okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's set up another time, and you confirm it. You confirm your next call. So confirm next call. And then put them in the microwave. Send email. And at this point with the send email part, my suggestion is put in a document that's a short read that you've written that provides value on the benefits of what it is you do, but it could be something general. But there's like a couple of nuggets in there that's like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. And it could be something that you've put out on the web. It could be a solid blog post, but have it look good. And I know you're the pro at that, so I'm not worried about that. This puts it into the microwave. And then the other thing is video testimonials. So to me, inside the email, it's, you know, it's appreciation. Which appreciation wins over self-promotion every time. Then you put in an article. And the big one for me is video testimonial.
Would you also do a vidyard at this point, or not yet?
It depends on the context. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing the vidyard, but I think because there's already going to be a lot of content within. I mean, you know, for you, I did it because we're already engaged in this process.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. And the truth is, you're the split test guy. I would split test it. I mean, you'll know if somebody opens it because vidyard tells you. And it's, you know, just a quick little whiteboard. I choose the GIF on purpose, and I shake the thing around on purpose. I learned this from Mark Evans, actually, who was getting coaching from Craig. He's no longer, but super guy. And vidyard is super easy. Again, it's free. And I'll give you a quick aside. I was set up for a speaking engagement back in December. And there were people in the audience that I was going to know. I already had a level of celebrity within this bike brand. And so everybody on that list, like everybody, I took the time to do an individual vidyard for everybody.
Oh, that's
And that
awesome.
must have been about 40 people out of a possible 150. So it took me about 3 hours to get it done, right?
Yeah.
Every one of them opened it, and about, see, about 75% came up to me. I said, "Hey, man, when I may not be able to get a chance to see you, but I'd love to get the opportunity if you want to come up to me, give me a high five and a hug when I see you at the event." Well, I again, like I said, 75% did that.
Wow.
Of course, what that does is, high fives and hugs with other people who don't know who I am. Everybody else is going, "Who is this guy? And why does everybody want to go and see him?" So that's, that was part of my strategy. Like, and again, this is pre-COVID. So of course, high fives and hugs right now, not really happening.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but the microwave piece is really cool because now, you confirm the next call and you want to keep them warm. And the next call is your close, because now, like I sent you, it was the 80% of sales are closed within the 5th and 12th contact. And I've been using that blue piece. I'm not kidding. It's got to be like, in fact, I know when, since 2007. I know exactly when, the year, in fact, because that was when, the fit hit the shan with the markets.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't follow up, it's crazy. And so this leads me to this, and I'm just going to share with you a follow-up strategy that I've used. I call it the relentless follow-up system, and you may be aware of it. Bedros Keuilian coins it as the monster follow-up system. I call it relentless. Nonetheless, let's go there, and we'll just jump in. So you can see this Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually really simple. Somebody like yourself who has automations and the tools, and again, if you have a virtual assistant, even better.
I do.
Perfect. One of the things that you might have noticed on my email signature is I say lead cycles, and lead cycles is a tool that I've helped create specifically for the bicycle industry. So what I do is I tell people about the relentless follow-up system, and these bike shops end up saying, I just don't have the bandwidth to be able to do all of this that I'm about to show you. Now, again, for some of us, we may not have all of that incredible amount of retail traffic. When you get that much traffic, you hire more people.
Yeah.
But a lot of these bike shops don't think that way. But in this world, so let me explain to you this concept, and then I will tell you that with lead cycles, what we've done is we've created an automated follow-up tool. So essentially, somebody's in the store, they go, "Hey, I want to go for a test ride." I get them to sign a digital waiver. The digital waiver captures email, phone number, right? Now I've got you. But I have to get you to sign the waiver before you want to ride a bike. And if you're not going to ride a bike, then you're not really, in my world, you're not really a legit customer, because you're not really serious. So, and because from a liability standpoint, I just take their waiver, we digitize it so that now you can do email capture instead of using a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
And so we've put together an in the can, all of the, like I've created video, so it's embedded in the video. The first thing we do is we increase people's Google reviews. I'm giving you this because, Daniel, this might be something that you could do in some of the spaces that you're in, because there's no way that Lead Cycles is going to be able to serve people outside of the bike industry. I mean, and people are paying us $297 a month, and it's, I've got Shauna and Chris that manage it. I'm the face behind it, but I've got most of the stores that I do sales training with, and I'm going to say like 99% of them, once I've sales trained the stores, they start using Lead Cycles, and of course, it's a passive residual income for us. So it's And I think for you, I'm just going to give you some thoughts behind this, because there are people in whether it's the fitness space, the coaching space, they don't have the bandwidth. And yeah, anyways, so I'll explain the relentless system. Let's say you've got a client or this is all your prospects. You and I both know there's a difference between a prospect and a customer. A prospect is somebody who has not bought from you yet. A customer is someone who we've defined, and birds of a feather flock together. So what we want is we want more of the same. You know other copywriters. Was it you that you or maybe it was Isaac, that you're part of the copywriter syndicate or something to that effect? There's a group.
Yeah, he and I are in that group. We I guess he kind of came up with the idea, or Craig came up with the idea, and so we had our first meetup last week. Did some copy teardowns for each other, talked shop, talked about the industry, and it's just a social club for copywriters. Well, not a social club, business club.
Sure, it's a networking group, and
Yep.
and to your credit, it makes all the sense in the world. I'm just gonna plug in my laptop here before I forget. So, the one of the things that birds of a feather flock together. If I do well with let's say a bike shop, other bike shops are eventually going to say, hey man, you know what? You should hire Joe. You should hire Joe, and build that niche, right? Build your niche, you'll get rich.
Yeah.
And same thing, right? For you, whatever niche you're going to really granulate down to, because once you build that celebrity in that one space, you're going to be able to grow that celebrity outside of it. Craig did it with turbulence training. It amazes me how many people I'm working with currently in the dojo that have said, I've been following Craig since his turbulence training days. And I'm like, wow. What? Like they've been consistently getting his emails since turbulence. It's amazing. And now they're coaching with him, which, outside of fitness. Like I've got a guy who's he does stem cell research and stem cell repair and injections. He's a doctor, and he's in the dojo. And I mean, talk about completely super guy, by the way. But out there, I mean, you'd think most of the people that Craig is dealing with is they're fitness guys. Not anymore. He's been able to expand, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting niche.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've written for a couple of clients that did stem cell treatments, and one of the biggest pain points for them was that the insurance companies wouldn't pay for it, so they had to find patients who were willing to spend $15,000-$25,000 on arthroscopy with stem cell injections and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and again, using the same question. Imagine if we work together and we're able to come to a place where you are pain-free with non-invasive methods. Would you be willing to give that a try? And the word try, again, I'm a big fan of it because it gives the subconscious mind the idea that, hey, I can give this back. Right? You be willing to give that a try? If the answer is yes, the sale is closed. Right? So it's the word try. I'm digressing a little bit here, but I want to be able to give you this because it's worked for me so well in my career. It's number one, don't confuse my enthusiasm for being pushy. It's really important. I'm not saying it out loud, but again, coming back to, as I'm pointing to, I'm the expert. I'm the trusted advisor. As the expert, it is my duty, as Craig would say, my duty and obligation to just give you that little bit of a light, persistent, polite push over the edge so that you can spread your wings. You need to do this because I have you in mind. So please don't, and I'll tell people, please don't confuse my enthusiasm for being pushy. I know what I have to offer will work for you, and I need for you to believe in me. I promise you this is going to happen. If you're like me, I offer 100% money back guarantee. So what's the risk? right? So, so coming back to that, anyways, I want to don't confuse my enthusiasm for being pushy, and then again, would you be willing to give that a try, as opposed to, all right, so do you want to do it? And don't get me wrong, either or in terms of asking are very good. Try just gives that softer feel. Something for you. Again, you can split test it. I've done especially when somebody has to finance. I'll say, hey, you know what? Using the PayPal example or Finance It example or a firm, and there's a variety of different finance companies. It's like, and like I suggested with you, if I could get you on board and we could get you this program right now, and you could do it with 6 months interest-free financing, would you be willing to give that a try? And now what I'm doing is, hey, let's get you set up. Let's give it a try. If they're approved, great. Or like what you proposed, if I could provide you with a way to finance it where we'll split up your payments in 3 payments over the course of 2 weeks at a time, would you be willing to give that a try? If somebody says yes, I'm open to it, you're great. We've closed the door on that, and let's move forward and let's get you to what you need. So I'm on the call I'm direct messaging with someone, and then I'm on the phone call with them, their first phone call, and the ghosting may happen. This is something that was a concern for you, so I'm going to give you my 2 bits here on the process. Keeping in mind that you've heard me say, let's keep no off the table when it comes to follow-up. However, there will be instances where someone will be insistent, I'm going to call you back. I go, okay, how serious are these people? Nonetheless, I'm dealing with them. I've got something set up, or I don't have something set up for the future. This is really what the relentless follow-up system is about. And so I've got Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. I'm going to follow up with them day one. So where I am on this is I'm over here. I've made the call, or I've had a meeting with them, and now I'm going into that. They haven't closed. I'm going to follow up with them. You're the script guy. You're going to know this better than me. I would have a phone call on day one. I'm going to do 4 items. And Ryan Hennessy, who's a guy who, again, yesterday, he reached out on me on LinkedIn, and he said, yeah, I want to join your SOS group. I said, perfect, Ryan. He's with Matrix Fitness. I sent him the link. Ghost. I mean, when somebody says, I want to join your SOS group, it wasn't, I want to know more about your SOS group. I want to join. I said, here's the link. So I expected to see something in PayPal, and nothing all day yesterday. So I know Ryan's phone number, and I have his email address, right? First thing I did this morning was I emailed him. I still have 3 other tasks to go. He's already replied on the email. So if he did not email me back, I would then phone him between the hours of 9 and 6. And this is just my opinion. Information like spare ribs, right? Yummy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly, when people call after 6 p.m., I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Exactly, man.
I
Totally.
mean, I'm not going to pick up my phone for unless it's somebody from my family or a good friend. I'm not trying to pick up random calls after 6.
It's funny you mention it, because even last night I got on there. It's a 2-hour drive to come here, and 2 to 2.5, depending on how fast you're going. So it's a 2-hour drive, and then and then 10 after 6, Sean and I are just leaving the city, and I noticed, hey, I missed a call, and it was a prospect who's like, he's already left a deposit for some training, and we just need to finalize the dates. And his voice was, hey Joe, it's Matthew here. Again, after 6, he goes, I'm guessing that you've shut her down for the day. No problem. I just wanted to confirm the times. We'll talk tomorrow. That was essentially it. And I mean, he already knew that, hey man, this is it. Like, if you check my Calendly, after 5 o'clock, I'm Ixnay on the Allen K, right? It's game over.
Yeah.
Because I need to do my brain dump and then decompress, and I mean, so I like to away from the desk at 6, and I'm up reasonably early, depending on when. I'm not as diligent as Craig at that 3:57 every day, but I like, today my alarm was set for 6:30 because I moved my alarm based on what time we Sean and I got to bed last night, because there was a thunderstorm that
I hear you.
literally scared the shit out of me last night. Like, I was dead asleep and it was like, whoa, right out of bed. It was insane. Anyways.
So wait a second. Quick question. What city are you guys based out of?
So we live in Winnipeg, which is central Canada. Think of Fargo, North Dakota. Go north by 3 hours.
Okay, so you're like east of Calgary?
Correct. Like, Calgary is a 14-hour drive.
Jeez. I guess Canada is a big place.
It's huge. It's huge, brother. So yeah, I'm in the prairies. So now where I am right now is 2-hour drive east Winnipeg, 2.5 really, and I'm in lake country. So I'm actually in Ontario now, northwestern Ontario, which personally I think is one of the most beautiful places around. It's lots of rocks, lots of trees, lots of water.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we have a visitor. And I'm saying that because one of my neighbor's dogs here, I mean, like, you can't see anything, but it's like nothing but green, and I'll do this. You'll see my view.
Is that the lake out there?
That's the lake. I'm literally right on the water, bro.
Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
And I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass when I say this. If you ever said, Joe, you said I could come up to your cabin for fishing. Come up, man. Love to have you. You've got this. This is being recorded, so I'm not lying.
Yes.
When the borders are open, you can come up, COVID free, and come and enjoy some Canadian beauty. Love it.
No, it's. I've never been to Canada. I've been to Europe and I've been around the States a bit, but I've never been to Canada, so it's on my list.
To tell you what, I don't want to take too long on this. One of the things, I've traveled into a lot of states. I think I'm missing something like 7 or 8. That I've been to Alaska, and but I've been to Vermont. I've been to Maine. What I'm fascinated by is every state truly could be its own country, like in Europe, right? I mean. Mm-hmm. It's and Canada is very much the same. I mean, our provinces, other than the maritime provinces out east, they're massive, and like
they really are huge.
Like British Columbia versus Alberta versus Saskatchewan and Manitoba. I mean, they're very different. Everyone's different, and even Ontario, where I am now versus going to Toronto or Hamilton, Ontario, and then even Ottawa, completely different. It's a place of beauty. All right, let's jump back in. Relentless follow-up system. So now you're going to do 4 tasks every day, follow up, and be relentless, politely persistent, be the welcome guest, not the pest. So you'll have a script of because it was early this morning, I emailed Ryan and I said, hey, Ryan, Joe Marcoux here. Just want to make sure you got my email with the PayPal link for the SOS Dojo. I've only got 3 spots left out of 6. Can you let me know that you got my email? ? And I finished my email with the question mark. Because if there's too much information on the bottom and my question is up here, then a lot of times, sometimes people won't answer. So the question is the way to end your email, so it gets people to think, or it's the logical thing is to respond. So he responded to my email, so that's excellent. I got it. But if he didn't do that, then I would phone or text. Now the phone or text are between the hours of 9 and 6. It's saying not 6th of September, but I think you're with me on this. 9 and 6.
Yeah.
6. Okay. Same thing. 9 and 6. The social media you can do anywhere. Anywhere where you have somebody's email, you're going to be able to attribute that email logically to some kind of social media account. Direct message with Instagram is fantastic because there is no spam filter in Instagram, which is awesome. The other one that I really, so if you message somebody on social media, do it in Insta. And that's why Craig is a big fan of Instagram as well, right? But the other one that's really good is LinkedIn. I mean, unless you purposefully shut somebody out of LinkedIn, you're going to get the message.
Totally.
Nobody responds to these you can do anytime. Like it's anytime. So, which is great, right? And you can have these responses in the can. Your VA can have these in the can. Your VA could technically have this in the can, but understand that this is when, you've got to make sure that it's being texted. And you can have a bot doing this. And so what we've done with lead cycles with Chris, my IT guy and whatnot, he's been able to set this up where all of this is automated, and then there's a call tracking number attributed to the retail store, so that if a customer clicks the text and it goes to the store, then there's a call recording. And dude, let me tell you, there are people that suck on the phone so bad. So we're going to go through a thing later today that's called Give Good Phone. And, there's nothing, my sister coined that years back, and I thought that was so funny because she said, I was over at her place. She lives in Ottawa, just outside of Ottawa. And she got off a phone call with somebody, and she goes, man, that guy gives good phone. And I just started cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. So to this day, and feel free to use it, Daniel. Like that one, that's you could, that could be a title of a book. There's nothing like giving good phone. Right? Go ahead, run with it.
You're not wrong. That's a strong, like easy to remember 3-word title. Give Good Phone would be a good book title. It's actually in my Calendly. I do an hour program of Give Good Phone. I have a PowerPoint that you and I are going to go through, and but feel free to run with it. I mean, there's just so much that I personally can do, and as a copywriter, I think Give Good Phone makes all the sense in the world. I don't need, send me a check if you want to, no problem. All right, so if day one you've been ghosted, go to day 2. Same thing. Call. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail, and it's like change your message up a little bit. Hey, Daniel, it's Joe Marcoux again. Just wanted to follow up with you. Give me a call when you get this message. My phone number is 204-229-3831. Looking forward to hearing from you, man. Take care. Send a text. Email goes out, slightly different text in it, maybe another video, link. And you could start using Vidyard. I think that's great because if you put Vidyard in it, then you'll know the open rate. Like Vidyard will notify you immediately this has been opened, so which is great. Social media, again, day 3, day 4, you just check mark. Do it. If by the end of day 4 you've been ghosted, put them into an email drip campaign and move on, because your time is your time. So, but that's 16 touch points in 4 days.
You got it. Absolutely. Some people think that's aggressive. I do not, because you've already been in contact with them here, right? Like it's pre-day 1. If I'm giving you everything I've got, if you're not working with me, then move on. I've got other people to work with. And
I like that, because like nobody wants to chase people indefinitely.
Nope. No, either. For me as a salesperson, what I've come to appreciate in my career is I understand that I'm going to hear no 5 times before I get to a yes. That's the average, right? No just means no for now.
That's fair.
Yeah. No just means no for now. So if I'm getting a no, back to that. So no is again typically times 5 is no for now. So what's missing? If it's no for now, what's missing? Well, it's the value proposition. It's maybe they don't understand specifically what they're going to do for them. It's they're not 100% sure, and we need to, do our best to build confidence, build hope. It's not about price. I mean, at the end of the day, if price is what you pay, value is what you get. Right? Warren Buffett. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. Well, if that's the case, do you see the value in what we're doing? If I could remove, if we could remove together this big challenge that you're facing right now, what would that do for the quality of your life moving forward? How is that going to be able to get you to the vision of the future that you want? And asking somebody on a prospecting call, so what's the dream right now? Like, you're working your butt off. If you could get more leads and you were to be able to close more sales, what does that look like for you? I mean, ultimately, that's what you're helping people do. And so, no, it's like, so do you want to do it? I don't know. Okay, I don't know is still a no. Until we get a yes, we just keep asking questions. And we're going to SOS it. It's acknowledge and ask a question, right? So that's the relentless follow-up system. It's a powerful tool. I've used it for quite some time. And then it's funny because Bedros came out, as you probably know, based through Bedros calls it the monster follow-up system. Well, I mean, he's taken this concept obviously from somebody else, and because I've seen this before in a different iteration, but I agree with it. It's if you don't get a reply from somebody within 96 hours, I'm not letting them go. I'm just going to put them in a drip campaign and move on because I got to put my energy somewhere else. I mean, and I'll share with you a quick story. This guy in the Northeast, he's in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
And he said, Joe, I want to do the training with you. Perfect. So he said yes. And then he ghosted me for 4 days. Just for giggles, I made a point of putting him in my calendar every day for 27 days. I called him 27 days straight. And then finally, and I knew he was totally avoiding me like the plague. And finally I said, Mike, he answered the phone one day and I just said, he said, well, I'll tell you flat out, Petagosono, this is Mike Heslin is his name. But we get along really well. He still hasn't done the training, by the way, because he's a solo guy. It's funny as hell. Anyways, Petagosono, this is Mike. And I said, Mike, no bullshit, yes or no? And he went, no. And I'm like, do you feel better, Mike? Like I knew, but honestly, Daniel, pardon my French, but I fucking knew it was no. Like, after he had ghosted me for 2 days, he had previously said yes. And then it was like, and I said, Mike, how many times do you think I've called you? And he's like, honestly, Joe, I have no idea. I said, this is day 27. I've been having fun with this because I've recorded this. And I said, do I have your permission to use this in my training for the future? He's like, yeah. I said, I'm just going to show people how absolutely miserable it is to do this. And I said, here's the lesson for you. Doesn't it feel better to have finally just told me what you have really subconsciously decided? He goes, and then we bantered for about 15 minutes and we laughed about it. Now, I could have pressed the issue. There are times where you just got to let people go. And I let him go because, I mean, it's like being a personal trainer and having somebody who's saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to be committed to the diet. Well, listen, either you're going to be fucking committed or not. So are you going to do it or not? Because I could get your money, but I can't afford to have somebody who's just going to keep gaining weight when I'm the fat loss coach. Like I can't afford to have that out in the ether. Nor can I afford to have somebody say, I did the training with Joe, but you know what? I'm out of business. Like, oh my God, can't afford it. So I don't want to have somebody who is not committed to stretching out of their comfort zone. So in this case, I like this guy, Mike, and he's doing well. And he goes, Joe, I love your content, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I only want to do the training with you when I hire staff. And my thing is, hey man, if I help you build a policies and procedures manual and you can then hire your staff, you know what I mean? He's got this chicken and the egg. He's got it backwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you figure out how to nail sales, then you can more quickly hire people. Like you'll be there. Like, come on, dum dum.
Exactly. Yeah, but it is what it is. All right.
You know what's crazy? I used to work for this agency, and they went through a dry spell of like almost 2 years without a new client. And I wasn't working on new business, but to me, like it was just obvious. It's like, guys, like figure out how to sell better. Like, you know what I mean? Like something is not connecting.
Yeah. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is measuring your metrics. I've got a tool that I'm going to send you. And again, I'm going to send it to you that you can, if you want to use it. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to put this here, DM tracker. I use this for retailers, but it's so conducive to what we do. I use a version of it. I just don't put test rides in. I'll show you my screen again. One of the things that I will send it to you. I call it the daily metrics tracker. And essentially, it's a setup by month. If you think of it from this perspective, you know, one of the questions that I will always ask somebody is, if I'm in the store, I'm in a retail store, is this your first time here? It's a yes or no question. If it's yes, then it leads me to the next question. Awesome. How did you hear about me? Hear about us? Like, you already knew the answer. This was, you know, Craig Ballantyne connected us, so I didn't have to ask you the question. But I still will get on the phone call, and part of your template needs to be, how did you hear about me? It is a must question, and I'm going to put this here, template question. How did you hear about me? So I'll put it together for you. And the reason I'm going to help on this is the following. You need to know what's effing working.
Oh, totally.
I mean, you're an expert. You do A/B testing, split testing in terms of, you know, whether it's and I'm not the expert here, but whether it's a Facebook pixel and you do retargeting, and I know these buzzwords. I get the sense in terms of how it or what it is. I just don't know how it works. You're the guy.
But yeah, I mean, it's huge to know where your referral traffic is coming from.
Like, where are my leads coming in from? So again, hey, is this your? So you could say, so have you spoken to a copywriter before? No, I haven't. Or yes, I have. Okay, great. What were some of the things that you guys talked about? Then it's, so how did you hear about me? I saw something on Facebook. I've been following you for a while. And then again, reiterate, where did you see me specifically? So I'll give you an example with the DM tracker, because what you want to do is you want to measure your metrics. And I'll go, again, simplicity is elegance, right? And you don't have to use it from this perspective, but I literally use this prop, but I use it. The clicker.
Oh yeah.
How many, you know, when we do a live event and I'm speaking, I'm doing this. I'm counting the people in the room. So let's say I figure out, yeah, there's 8 people in the room. Then I make my presentation. Then I do a call to action at the end of my presentation. I make my pitch. Then I measure the percentage of people that bring in the form, that bring it to the back of the room to Shauna. Well, now I can measure my sales metrics. It would be foolish for me to go to an event, not count the number of people there, and go, oh, I only got, you know, 3 signups. The last live event that I did, that's not true. The last live event that I did was in New York City, as far as, actually it was New Jersey, but and again, we were already in COVID. So I wasn't the keynote for that, but I was doing workshops. And the very last one, I had 14 people just come into this little workshop. And of the 14, I had 6, so 45% provide me with their email address. So that to me is my 45% closing rate. Very happy with that number.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you don't measure it, you can't improve. You don't know if you're doing like, I got, you could say, yeah, I got 7 email or 6 email addresses. Now, if you found out that there was 1,000 people in the room, 6 email addresses, would be okay. That metric might not be so great. So, and I know you get it, but I'm going to reiterate it anyways. I like to use this tool. I when I'm doing live events. And then I also like to count the number of people that I've been on the phone with. And I give this to retailers. So if ever you do this with retailers, you have a conversation with a retailer, give them the DM tracker. It's a fabulous tool, and by all means, and what I tell them is, hey, is this your first time in the store? 3 questions. First time in the store, how did you hear about us? And I'm going to share with you this story about how did you hear about us? And then if it's whatever the product is, have you ever tried this product before? Just simple. And if it's a bike, it's an electric bike. I go, have you ever used a Trek e-bike before, or a Pedigo electric bike? I don't care the brand. And if the answer is no, I go, awesome, just for fun, come with me. And I'm not even gonna tell them how it works. Like, this got a 500 watt motor, blah blah blah. That's called feature dumping syndrome. Shut the fuck up. Get them on the fucking bike. Like, let's go. And the reason that you get them on the bike is so that I can get your email address, so that I can do automated follow-up. Right? It's like, let's go. Bike stores, and it's not just bike shops. It's auto dealers. Like, why car guys don't get a test drive waiver to be able to do follow-up? Like, Daniel, think of it. People just get in the fucking car and drive. Hey, you know what? It's just a formality. And what we do is we go, you're also entered to win our $100 gift card draw. Right? So you can also use the gift card draw to put up on social media to drive traffic. And these are just, I'm giving you these ideas so that you could, you know, because you could do this with your client base. There's billions of people cannot keep cycles all themselves. We have niche. Go ahead to other niches, man. Like, no problem. There's lots to share.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the concept of the lead magnet, just applied in real life as opposed to a digital download,
Exactly.
So it totally makes sense. I love the note about not feature dumping, because when I found that when I get into the weeds with people, it just like, it's like they just hit the bong and their eyes glaze over and they're just like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
hit the bong.
I mean, it's just like, that's kind of why I was rewriting my whole process to be this sort of benefit driven, like, package thing that requires less explaining.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to know about cost per click and A/B testing and like algorithms and quality scores and all that bullshit. They just want to know, is it going to get me more customers?
That's it. Unless start asking, deep dive into that, it's important for you to know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they want to go there, that's fine. But
you can, for sure. I mean, I'm totally the same way. I mean, for me, it's results. Don't tell me the how. I don't need to know how it works. I just need to know that it will work. That's it. So and I'll share with you the story. Back when I had my retail store, and I was about 22 at the time, so I wasn't even with the company that we had, gone from 7 stores to 38 in a year and a half. I was still like this small independent retailer in my hometown of Winnipeg, and it's still making way too much money for my age. And because my partner and I, who was younger than I was, we were selling for about $1 million, $1.2 million at this point. A couple of young guys, and the margins were 40% and higher. Wow. We were killing them. So I had a couple come in. 2 ladies came in, and this one woman said, "I'm looking for a treadmill." And the mistake that I made back then was it was, I would wait till we closed the deal. And then as I'm writing up the deal and setting up deliveries and schedule, I would say, so how did you hear about us? Problem. I was only getting the information from my now customers as opposed to my prospects. Fast forward to the conversation with this woman, Diane, and her partner at the time, and coming in for a treadmill. And during the conversation, I just, I'm curious, how did you hear about our store? And she said, I heard you're out on the radio. I said, oh, awesome. I said, I'm curious, when did you hear the, was it the morning or was it the afternoon? She said, actually, it was drive home. I said, oh, terrific. Okay, awesome. What station was it? She said, that was 92 City FM. Awesome. So we keep talking, and I sell it. Not only do I sell her a treadmill, I sell her a small corner space home gym, write it up. She leaves, all good. Delivery times are set. Thank you. Congratulations, and thank you. Off they go. I look over at my partner, Derek, and I'm like, hey, man, are we even advertising on the radio?
That's funny.
Huge lesson. Huge lesson. Of course, I found out that it was a competitor, and my store name at the time was Precision Fitness, and then we merged with Fitness Depot. But at the time, my competitor was at a store, they were advertising on video. This person heard their ad and mistakenly thought it was my store, which told me that my competitor's advertising was working clearly. So
even for
on
you.
the Monday, right? So on the Monday, what did I do? I called up 92 City. I wanted to get a sense of, hey, what are your demographics? What are the costs? I want to be able to start advertising. And we did, and we started to gain more traffic. So it was one of the things that we immediately, every person who comes in, we've got to find out how do they hear about us, whether they're a customer or they're a prospect. And I think everybody needs to ask, we take it for granted. How did you hear about us? Online. Well, the last time I checked, online's a pretty freaking huge place. If I'm on the phone, it's a great topic of conversation. It's like, so, hey, how did you hear about me, right? It was Craig. How long have you been working with Craig? How did you hear about Craig? Like, let's deep dive into that, and you can market in here. If it's a referral, like this example, if it's a referral, well, great, then let's talk about that. I mean, if they're I call it be back, because when it's a customer who says, yeah, I'll be back, right? It's a prospect who says, I'll be back. It's a different thing if it's a repeat customer. And I just put in all of these metrics, and then I go, okay, total number of people that I've dealt with. This should actually say total number of prospects. The total number of prospects, total number of, in this case, phone calls, not test rides, total number of phone calls, and then how many people did I close? This gives you at least a basic metric of how you're doing, and then you go throughout the month to month. Some of the retailers go as far as taking this, and now they've taken it upon themselves to measure what the daily forecast was. So they'll put daily forecast in terms of weather, and they'll say, well, yeah, it was slow that day because it was raining. Nobody's coming in to look for a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So right. So you could, again, I'm just giving you some thought. I'm going to send you the daily metrics tracker,
Sure.
whether you choose to use it or not, or you could, shift it to a reiteration, an iteration that works for you, or you can share it with other people. By all means, go right ahead. I think it's a great tool.
What's really interesting that you mentioned about the weather, our one of the companies I work for used to run paid search for Carhartt, and they figured out a way to trigger rain gear ads in places where it was raining that day. And they were seeing an uptick in rain gear sales for their, waterproof jackets and stuff. And the same thing when the cold snap came, they would fire up the winter gear paid search ads when the cold snaps came in different cities. And, it was really boosting both their online and their in-store sales.
Brilliant. And for us, I think it's important. I mean, I need to, obviously I want to be spending time delivering content like I'm doing right now. Then for me to scale is how can I either deliver the content leverage myself so I can get other people delivering the content like the dojo is going to happen. And that's the topic of scale that I'm going to talk with Craig in the future. We have actually a coaching call on Tuesday coming up. And then again, how do I get in front of live audiences? I really enjoy, right? So whether it's like this or whether it's actual like in person where we can actually high five again, and those days they'll come back in the future. Who knows when, but still measuring metrics. And again, like I told you before, I did this speaking engagement in December. We had 88 people in the room, of which 36 provided me with a sheet of paper where it's like, yes, I want to work with you. So, I mean, those metrics were massive, but again, there's still, if it's not 100%, I still have work to do. And what can I do to improve? Whether it's the call to action, was it, and split testing, and you're the split testing guy, but measuring your metrics are so important, and a lot of people just don't do it. And if you're not measuring it, you're not going to be able to improve.
Yeah. If you can't measure it or you don't measure it, you can't control it. You can't improve it.
Exactly. So I just wanted to share the measuring of and getting accuracy, getting the follow-up early. You're already there. I mean, I think it's, if you're already on a phone call with somebody, you've already received an email, and I'm sure that are you emailing a list of people right now, just with content and just following up? And
yeah, I have a tiny-ish email list. It's just south of 200 people.
That's great. Yeah, I'm in a similar boat with just that one bike brand. I've got an email list going, and now I've got to start creating another email list for my clients like yourself.
Yeah,
where I can continue to just stay in touch, follow up, and then when new programs and new, because you know what it's like. I'm going to get you in with this. I want to keep you in with more content. Hopefully, get you into the dojo. You're getting value, and then, hey, I'm doing this mastermind, or hey, I'm doing this live event, and because those days are coming for sure.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, and that Craig's asked me to speak at his Unstoppable Mastermind in Toronto in August. So obviously I'm going to go if travel is, if it's still going to be on, and that's obviously going to be an opportunity for me to let people see the deal, because it's like doing a webinar, right?
Yeah, no, totally.
And that's the next step. I mean, for you, I don't know. Have you seen Isaac's copywriting piece that he's done, where he's done it with Craig, and then he recently did it with Sharon?
I think I watched the one he did with Craig, and I did one with Craig too.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't see yours with Craig. Pardon me. This is where I connected with Isaac. Actually, he said, "Yeah, I'm going to provide you the opportunity. Anybody who wants, on this call, reach out." And I think there was like 4 or 6 people. He may have. I think it was brilliant, because what he did was he may have said 4 to 6 people. I'm sure he did everybody. Right. The first time I dealt with Craig, off the cuff, I said, anybody who's on this call, I'll do a half hour of SOS with you, just to, because the dojo wasn't even open yet.
Yeah.
But that got me to realize, holy crap, man, everybody, like even some of Craig's longtime clients, they needed work. And it was like, yeah. So,
well, I mean, I think that's when I first heard about you, was through one of those trainings, like watching a replay, finding it in that big giant list of trainings that's there on Facebook.
I know, it's huge. Yeah. It's awesome. So I know you're big on, if you get in the follow up early, great. I'm a big believer in when it's live, and I'm just giving you the concept. This is why putting them in the microwave is so important. If there's somebody somebody's on a bike, they come into the store, I get them on the bike, and I tell them, go for a test ride. Just go for a ride, and I'll talk to you in 20 minutes. When they come back, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask them if they want it. No different than the first call. The first 15 minutes, I'm not, unless they are hot to trot, you cut to the chase, right? So there's the option of cut to the chase, but the truth is that's usually the cut to the chase option is usually about 10%. You're going to get about a 10% closing rate if you cut to the chase. Somebody gets on their first test ride or their first 15-minute call with you. They're still they might be a warm lead unless they did what Ryan did with me yesterday, where it's like the message was, I want to join. Here's the PayPal link, bro. I mean, I'm going to cut to the chase. He didn't join. So that tells me I got to take a step back now. And it's like, I haven't read his email, but I will after our call. And if he hasn't joined yet, then I know I have to set him up for a phone call and just be able to go over what the issues are to be able to create value, because it's a no for now. And likely for him, he's Canadian, so 297 US is about 400 Canadian right now with the exchange rate. So he might be going, what? And he doesn't realize that I've got guys that are paying the same price, and they're getting like Connor Eagleson is getting like a 20x return on investment just by being in the dojo. In fact, Connor emailed me this morning saying, do you have a one-on-one program that we could do together? Which would be what you and I are doing now. And he's just been given the go to work full-time with Xander Fryer. So he just told me that in the email. So he's selling for Craig, and now he's going to be selling for Xander.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So one of the things that again, I like is the leave them alone factor.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's right.
I had to pop in.
Yeah, no worries. The leave them alone gives them in the world of live retail. Most people say, you know what, I want to go home and I want to, think about it. No problem. What I would do is I would say, before I give them a chance to leave, I would say, you know what, I'm just going to go see if my desk is still there. I'll be right back. And I'll leave. And I make sure that there's music on so that in a retail environment, the consumer, if they're, especially if they're husband and wife, I get out of the way and I let them percolate. And they'll decide without me listening. I already know they're talking about it, so I get out of the way. In this context, this is why it's the first phone call. If I go for it with the cut to the chase, because I pick up on their inflection and their energy that, hey, I just want to do this with you, Daniel. Great. Hey, do you want to do this? If your template, which I'm suggesting, is 15-minute call, okay, you know what, let's set up a call for tomorrow. I want to do a little bit of work, and I'm going to put something together for you, Daniel. I'll put something together for you. What time's good tomorrow? Is 1 or 1:30 good? Okay, great. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then I'll send you the Zoom link. Then you hang up the phone, and then you send them off the email with, the microwave piece. Here's an article. Here's a video testimonial, more touches. And then, of course, you're going to call tomorrow. And during that time, what are they going to do? They're going to, you've left them alone, and they're going to think about it. And because you're building cred while you're not there, you're not being pushy, which is great. Then you get to just apply a little bit of, again, it's just putting your pedal, your foot on the gas pedal on the next call. And that's where you get to ask, all right, you're going to reiterate everything that you spoke of on the first call and go, okay, so are we ready to start? Any questions today? All right, are you ready to start? So one of the things that I also like is asking with a quote. And on your website, you've got a lot of menu items, which is great, right? So again, going back to the best, better, good process that we talked about yesterday, right? Showing the best option and working your way down. You could say, hey, I'm sending you over a document with 3 options for you. And instead of discounting, you can stack value. And again, I'm just talking now strategy. let's give your average deal. You told me is 3,000 to 5,000. Is that correct?
Yeah. Right now it's anywhere from 3 to 5. It just,
So
it just depends. But yeah,
let's use the number $4,000 just for the sake of this exercise, and it's just
okay,
an exercise. Sure. Okay, let's say you've got $4,000 as your number, and just for the exercise, are you firm on 4,000 or are you flexible? And you're allowed to be flexible if you want to be.
So generally I don't want to go lower on price, but I am willing to be flexible on like multi-pay.
Okay. So let me give you an example of, and I love it that let's call it 4,000 firm. It's great. Have you ever had anybody say to you, Daniel, what kind of deal can you give me?
No.
It's going to happen. Just wait. You'll hear it. And the answer to that is, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. Sometimes they might not say, can I get a deal? They might say, instead of that price is too high, it's they may be fishing for a better price. They may say, is that my price? You'll hear it, man. You'll hear it.
Price?
Is that my price? For sure. Again, I've been in sales for a long time, so I've heard a variety of different iterations of. And the point of this is, again, role playing this out. Let's say you were willing to give, and you're firm on this, so you're not willing to take money off of this, but you could stack value, right? My program is $997. I provided you with $297 worth of value for free by giving you the dojo for a month, right? I didn't have to do that. I want to do it. I want to have more clients like you. And what it's going to do is I'm already going to be delivering to people in the dojo anyways. So to have you in there is just going to add more value to anybody and everybody anyways. So if somebody wants to add value to the deal, you have options. One is stack value. The other option, and again, you've got your menu items. What's an entry-level menu item that you offer? Like, what's your entry-level stuff?
So yeah, if somebody wanted to go with like a lower cost offer, it would probably be email, or like a single landing page or something like that. And that would be more like in that like $500 to $1,000, maybe $1,500, range, as opposed to the $4,000 for like a sales page and some ads, or like a couple of several website pages or something like that.
Right. So if you have these items on a quote, let's just pretend this is my quote, and you're talking, and whether it's live or it's on a Zoom call, and I email you, or I email you a Word document or a PDF of the quote, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and open that up, and you'll see, and then you can put it up on the screen, and then it's like, here's item one, item best, better, good, or the either or. What you can do is you can say, if you hear someone say, right? You can say, well, tell you what, if you want to do this right now, your a la carte item, that's an entry-level thing, like that $500 item, which really it doesn't cost you $500. It's going to cost them $500, but it's $500 worth of value that you can stack. I mean, to me, it's worth providing somebody that stacked value of your cost is probably $250 or less on a $500 item. To be able to get a $4,000 deal, in my world, totally worth it. because now I've got a client, hopefully, for life. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what am I willing to pay for a customer? Because there's a cost in acquisition. There's an acquisition cost. The question is, what is it? What's your actual cost per customer, not per qualified lead? There's a cost for every customer. So in the context of the, and I'll use the example of the retailer, they go, hey man, what kind of deal can you give me? I say, no, Daniel, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And I throw the ball back in the client's court or the prospect's court. The negotiation will only go as far as I will allow it, because I already know that in this context, I'm going to give away at a la carte or retail. So let's say your product is $500. Maybe, again, let's call it 400. Well, let's call it $500. I'm going to give from zero to my limit is $500. I'm not going to discount this at all. I'm firm. However, my cost on a $500 item is at least half or less. So, like, for example, you go to a bike shop and you buy a $4,000 bike. Wait, what kind of deal can you give me on the bike? My answer to that is, hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal on the bike, Daniel. What did you have in mind? Can you knock off, $500? I would say, so what you're saying is, if I can take $500 off of this total invoice you're going to buy right now, I didn't say I'm giving you $500 off the bike. I'm saying if I can take $500 off of this total invoice you're going to buy, and I didn't say today, I said now. So a lot of people don't pick up on these buying cues. Sometimes it's literally they're just the body language tells you, like, they're like this, they're looking at it and they're like, and they're pondering. Let them think, and then you can ask, so what are you thinking? That's an ask to buy question. When somebody says to you, I like it, do you and then again, what kind of, is this your absolute best price? That's an ask to buy question. What kind of deal can you give me? That's an ask to buy question. Does this ever go on sale? That's an ask to buy question. Because what they're doing is they're opening up the negotiation. But what you have is a policy in your back pocket that is, I will provide $500 worth of value to close this deal. If you're willing to negotiate, and I will tell you, I am always willing to negotiate. However, my negotiation tactic is, I'm going to give somebody $297 on a $997 deal. But it costs me, essentially it's costing me zero, because I'm not going to do the SOS with just you in the room. Then it's costing me my time. But because there's already people in the room that are paying me to be there, then I'm adding you to the room and you're going to get great value out of it. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
In terms of the approach? So I'm going to encourage you to let's come up with a strategy that makes sense for you in that. So it's like, hey, I'm going to sell more of this, which you're firm on, right? So if somebody said, hey, Joe, what kind of deal can you give me on $997? I mean, again, I've already practiced this. I say, Daniel, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What kind of sales trainer would I be if I was discounting my rates? Right? I mean, I wouldn't be much of a sales trainer if I'm discounting my rates. But I would say, tell you what, I appreciate that you're looking for a really good deal. If I could blank, would that interest you? So if I could provide you with $500 off of your total invoice, would that interest you? If I could get you into the SOS dojo for free for a month, would you be willing to give that a try? So if I could blank, would that interest you? And I'm going for the close, because you got to remember, when somebody says, and if, again, trepidation or that pause of they're looking at the invoice, it's not that the $4,000 is expensive. It could be that they just want to get a deal.
Right. So in the case of like a copywriting service thing,
Yeah.
would you think that it would be better to, respond with, if I could, like say if I added a freebie, like if I added an email sequence to this, would you be willing to,
Give that a try.
would you be willing to give that a try? You know,
So again, let's
is
role
that
play
what you
this
mean
one.
by value stacking? Like,
100%.
okay,
100%.
cool.
Because your email sequence, you probably already have, you've already got something pre-built, or you
Right.
already, right? So the cost for you is, it's evergreen. So you
Right.
get to, I got it.
Like
But
it's
I'm gonna
already
give
paid
you
for
the
itself, right? So it's just an
Yeah.
asset.
But that's your value add. So for the consumer, it's $4,500 that they're getting, but they're only paying $4. You're still getting your $4, but you're not having to do extra work. It's just a slam dunk.
Yeah, it's like a reverse sales letter, because usually the value stacking is but wait,
It's
there's
in the
more.
letter.
You're gonna get
Yes.
you're gonna get this
Bonus.
You're gonna get this bonus that's worth $1,000, and this other bonus that's worth like some buried treasure from the pyramids, and you're gonna get this other bonus that's worth you know what I mean? Like sometimes I
totally
read
know
these
what you mean.
sales letter and it's just like, how are y'all making any money, man? But I know.
Well,
how it
yeah, I
works.
mean,
But it's just what it feels like.
yeah,
It feels like it's like, how can I not give you my money?
precisely. And so it's the same in same context, but now we're live, and the negotiation. And I'll give you an example, because again, I want you to reflect on this, because I want you to put this in a Daniel Lamb policies and procedure, or Holland Creative policies and procedures manual. Any of your salespeople in the future, you do not, I'm just going to let it fly. You do not want anybody fucking calling you saying, hey, Daniel, this guy wants to get $10,000 worth of whatever we offer. What kind of deal can we give them? Nobody should be calling you to be able to close. Nobody. Like when I have a retailer where they say, I'm out in Mexico and I have my customers calling me saying, yeah, there's a 4-bike deal. What kind of deal can we give them? This is the deal. Negotiate based on this. So if there's 4 of them, hey, well then, if I can take $2,000 off your total invoice, you willing to be doing this now? I mean, the answer is 4 times.
Yeah,
like
that totally makes
done.
Sense. So you
On
have
top,
this preset. You have a preset concession or a preset value stack.
So instead of playing the car salesman game where it's like, let me go talk to my manager, right? We all know it's bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
It's everybody knows it's bullshit.
Yeah. It's a tactic, right? And it's an annoying one.
It is. So I like to play it this way. Again, I already know going in, and this is the way I do it. I already know going in that not everybody, like there's going to be people in the future, Daniel, that they're going to pay $9.97. They're not going to get a free month of the dojo. They don't. That's it. If I get any trepidation whatsoever, though, I'm willing to go and go get it. It's a tool. If you make it standard policy, well then I don't want you to miss the point.
Yeah.
It's you go and use it when you have to. And this is where when you have team members or staff, you give them limits, because if you don't give people that aren't business owners a limit, they take over and they're giving away shit for free, and then you're losing money. So in the context of hey, what kind of deal can you give me, or you're picking up that they're looking for a deal, again, you already know that this is your limit. So you can say, my sense is that you're looking for a little bit of a break here. Am I picking that up? Yeah. Okay. What did you have in mind? Knowing that you're already here. And if they say, well, hey man, can you throw in something that's worth $250? They're not even throwing the $500. It's $250. So this is your answer is, so what you're saying is, if I throw in this feature on my a la carte menu, that's worth $250. If I throw this in, you're going to do this now? And if somebody makes me an offer that is within this realm of possibility, and yet it's below it, and they say, can you do this? I know I got him.
Yeah.
I know I got him, and it's just the way that I'm going to frame the question. So what you're saying is, if I blank, you're going to do this now, not today. Because you know what today means? I've got like another 8 hours to go today, so I can hang up and man, I'm going to go shop around. Fuck that noise. You can do this now. And then when you ask the now question, hold your ground. And I'll share with you a quick story. This is embarrassing, but it's the truth. It's retail. Guy comes into my store, hot shot, says, it's the best treadmill money can buy. I said, I'll show you. I take him over to an $8,000 commercial treadmill. You got to change the wiring from 110 to 220. You got to get an electrician in. It's a full commercial treadmill. I mean, it's a beast. $8,000. And this is like 24 years ago. I'd have been 23, 24 at the time. Anyways, 25 maybe. Anyways, doesn't matter. His name is Tony. I never forgot that. And so I get to the end of my presentation very quick. And I go, so Tony, what do you think? And he does this. And I say, let me go see what I can do. I leave. I go to my desk. I come back. And I go, hey, Tony, I can give you 10% off. And he goes, I'm shitting my pants. I go, I'll be right back. I proceed to discount 2 more times to a total of $1,500. And Tony at the end says, Joe, I'll take it. So I'm writing him up, and he goes, Joe, I'll never forget. He put his hand on the desk. Joe, can I give you a piece of advice? Yeah, sure, Tony. He goes, I was ready to pay full price. You could have heard a fucking pin drop. I was literally screaming because I literally burned $1,500. I shit you not. Daniel, in under 8 minutes, I had gone back and forth to my desk and just kept discount to close. He said, I was just trying to figure out which credit card to use to figure out where I'd get better points. Fuckity fuck. I was like, oh my God. But the best $1,500 mistake I had ever made. Because he said, Joe, one of the things that you got to learn, because he was in sales, he says, I tell my sales guys that when you ask for the sale, and back then it was whoever speaks first loses. The truth of the matter is I don't like that way. Whoever speaks first makes the buying decision. One of the exercises that I do when I do a live training with people is I call it the mind game. And you can practice this with your wife or with somebody live and in person, or if you're actually on a phone call for real. And just think of how long 15 seconds can actually be. Feels like an eternity, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah.
So when you hold your ground, Daniel, this is really about the courage of sales. Again, remember your why. Remember what you're doing. Remember you're the expert. Remember you're here to help people. You're the guy. They've called you. To be able to hold your position and say, so what do you think? You want to do it? If you're on a Zoom call or if you're live with somebody in person in a coffee shop or whatever, by whatever you think about, you bring about. So if I'm thinking to you in my mind, if I'm thinking, so do you want to do it? And I'm thinking, we got this, not, do you want to do it? You see it, right?
Yeah, totally.
If you think we got this, and this is a great one. We got this. When I'm working with you and I say, hey man, we got this. Even if you can't see me, And it's like, so Daniel, you want to do it? I want you to be thinking, we got this, we got this, we got this. Just keep thinking it. What you think about, you bring about. The energy will definitely permeate through the phone or on video. And I love video. I'm a big believer in live and in person, because I want you to be able to sense of like, hey man, we got this, not please. And the example of this is I did a workshop. This would have been back in 1996. No, that is incorrect. This would have been back in 2006. My God. Yeah. 10 years later. I was in Denver, Colorado. I was speaking at a health and fitness business convention, and I did an exercise where I got people to sit in front of each other as if you and I are sitting in front of each other now, chairs, knee to knee. And I said, pretend that one of you has just asked the other, do you want to take it? There's no noise. I turn the music, because I use music in my live presentations. No music, no talking. I just want you to look at each other's eyes. I'll tell you when to stop. Do your best not to laugh. Go. And I hold people there anywhere between a minute to 90 seconds. So imagine in this context, there was about 1,500 people in the room. Nobody's talking. Now, of course, some people are snickering and laughing, but eventually they all calm down. And then it's like you could just hear people, the occasional one of those, right? And I was on the stage and I could hear somebody, and I'll never forget his name. His name is Scott Logan. And Scott said, man, I hate this. And I went, shh. So then I got everybody to share, okay, share with me some of the experiences that you just had. What did you hear? The little voice in your head. And that's part of the management of sales. When you want to be able to close a sale, sometimes your emotional response gets the best of you. And holding position, like we just talked about, where I'm thinking we got this, is critically important. So for example, so you want to take it? And so what happened with Scott was he said, I hate this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. He said it out loud. Later on in the share with everybody in the room, the woman that was sitting across from him who didn't know Scott said, all I was thinking of was make him feel comfortable, make him feel comfortable, make him feel comfortable, right? And Scott admitted, he said, within seconds of just looking at this woman who I don't know in her eyes, she was making me feel comfortable. He goes, it was Joe, it was uncanny. And everybody in the room picked it up. If you think we got this, not I got this, because that's selfish. We got this. We're in this together. Just thinking it. I've got testimonials of people who said, out of all the training, I say, baby in the cradle, we got this. I got you right here. We're together. We got this. That feeling will come across. So I just want you to walk away from this particular portion of the exercise of when you're potentially on a call and you're like, you've done what you needed to do. You've done the audit, you've done the work with somebody, and you're at that point where you've presented your 2 or 3 options, and they're sitting there and they're like, just hold and wait. If an objection comes along, then it's you could say, my sense is that you're looking for a deal here. Am I right? Yeah, I mean, because you already know where you're going to go, Daniel. You're here. And I'm using this number as the example. In the bike world, just to give you an example, in the bike world, when they say, well, hey, can I get, what kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? So you might say, well, my sense is that you're looking for extra value. Are you looking for a deal? Yeah. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, sir, or Mr. Prospect. What exactly did you have in mind? If they throw something within here, then you say, so what you're saying is, if I could do this, you're going to do this now with me? Yeah. Awesome. Done. Let's do it. I mean, they say, yeah, it's done. If they go to a ridiculous number beyond 500, okay, where they say, well, can I get $2,000 off? Right? You're going to get some dickheads that are going to go there. Well, can I get 50% off? Here's my reaction. Here's exactly what I don't even, if I'm live, 55% of the way that we communicate is body language. Here's what I do. I go, What did I say?
Fuck no. Are you crazy?
Right. So then using SOS, acknowledge and ask a question, I'd acknowledge and I say, Daniel, I totally get that you're looking for a smoking deal that would put me out of business. However, I need to be able to be profitable so I can continue to serve you and my other clients. What would be a win-win that you'd have in mind that we could work together on? I don't tell you that I'm not going to say, well, I could do 500. I'm not telling you that. I know what my hand is. You got to play a little poker here. My limit's $500, and you need to be, if your number is 4,000 firm, and we're using 500 in the exercise here, you need to be firm in what this is, but you're flexible here. Having that flexibility right now, especially in times of COVID and everything else that's happening, gives you the ability to close where other people in your world, they ain't fucking going there because they haven't talked to me yet. Like I'm telling you, this strategy is awesome because you will get more of this just by giving a little bit. And it's not on the menu. Like that's not part of your process. It's part of your process now, but it's not, it's hey, I'm going to open up the door by saying, hey, my sense is you're looking for a little bit of a deal here. Am I picking that up correctly? Like you're asking for the sale without you're doing anything yet. And they're going to say, well, yeah, what kind of deal can you give me? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? You're not saying that you're doing a deal yet. You're just saying, I picked up on. I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? Can you do something here? So what you're saying is, if I do this, you're going to do it now. Yes, awesome, done. Daniel, welcome. Then what you say is, congratulations. I'm skipping ahead, but this is a game changer. When somebody makes a decision, right? Typically, salespeople go, "All right, well, thank you. Let's role play this out." Let's say I go, "Okay, well, Daniel, I need your credit card number. Blah 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 blah." Okay, yeah, transaction's gone through. Thanks for your business, man. We're going to have a lot of fun together. And you're going to say, okay. If I frame it this way, where it's like, okay, I need your credit card number, Daniel, blah, 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 okay. All right, transaction's gone through. Congratulations, Daniel. Welcome to the Joe Marcoux sales training family. What are you going to say?
Thank you. I'm excited to start.
You're thanking me for taking your money.
Yeah, totally. Well,
and what I've also done is I'm removing buyer's remorse because I'm congratulating you for making the right decision. Absolutely critical that you congratulate everybody who decides. Even if you're in a negotiation, it's like, so can you do this? Right? So what you're saying is, if I can do this, you're going to go now? We're doing this now? Yes. Put her there. Congratulations, man. We're starting. It's awesome. Make sense?
Totally. No, I think that's really emphatic. I love it.
Absolutely game changing. Because the last thing that you want is have somebody to come on board and then all of a sudden the next day go, I've changed my mind. And that happens. It happens a lot with people, for example, when they buy a specific product, like whether it's like, an expensive stereo, a big screen TV, a bike, an expensive training program. I mean, whereas, hey, no, congratulations, you made a great decision. So close, congratulate immediately. So does this idea of stacking value make sense to you? Yeah, and the handling of that objection of when saying, hey, like what kind of deal can you give me? I think that what's happening in your world, I think that human beings are human beings. My belief is that there are more people that are wanting to negotiate and they're afraid to open up the door. You may want to split test this for yourself and just go, if you get the feeling that somebody's going to walk, ask them, again, your sense is, hey, you know, my sense is that you're looking for a deal here. Am I wrong on that?
Mm.
Like, why would they want to go and think about it? You know, yeah, I'm looking for a deal, or yeah, like, hey, acknowledge, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? You already have your strategy in place, whatever that number is. In the world of a lot of the stores that I'm dealing with, they have a $300 accessory strategy. The accessories they all make 50% margin on their accessories in bike stores, just so you know. So if something sells for $249, cost is $137.50.
Yeah, I think that's true for mobile phone retailers too. Like the shit they sell in the store, it's just butter.
Right. So it's like, hey man, if can you throw this in? So if somebody said, hey, can you throw in that Senna helmet? It's a helmet with a Bluetooth. It sells for $129, costs is $65. So what you're saying is, if I throw in that helmet, you're going to buy it right now? Yeah. Congratulations, you're a brand new owner, right? So same thing for us, you know. So what you're saying is, hey, if I could throw in the SOS Dojo for a month, it's $297. I throw it in for you right now. Do you want to do it right now? Yeah, let's do it, man. So it's great, stacked value. It's a killer process. I'll tell you what, in my career, it's I've literally sold like millions of dollars worth of products and services because of that. So we've got 15 minutes. So we're going to do another call, obviously, but we're not far off.
Okay.
But we're going to do another call, and I apologize but I want to continue to stack value for you. But I'm looking at we are going to do some SOS on this, probably, and then I'd rather do it solo with you as part of that. One of the things that I want to talk about real quick, and then I'll do my PowerPoint of give good phone with you before we go. So if you ever do a webinar or you're live, you can make an offer. And I had this happen actually when I did a webinar for Craig. I actually had somebody, what I call the popcorn method. Now, the webinar isn't as effective as having a live encounter. Like if you do a live speech somewhere where you close, what I love is and it just very quickly it's called the popcorn method. When one person pops, you get out of the way. So in the world of, you know, retail, bicycle retail, I'm going to use as the example, I get the person or fitness retail. I used to do this all the time. I'd have, 6 people wanting to buy a treadmill. I would go, you know what? Folks, this is Daniel. He's just decided to pick this one up. Daniel, I'll be right back. And I get out of the way. What ends up happening is 5 of the 6 people walk up to Daniel and they go, so you're buying it? Really? What did it? And Daniel is excited about his purchase because I've just congratulated him for making the right decision. And Daniel is going to sell them on buying. And it's a classic move. So I call that the popcorn method. You can call it the domino effect. But the best thing that you can do when you're when in the future, Daniel, when you get an opportunity to speak in public, is, hey, and you're off the stage now, and you've got a group of people. You announce to everyone who's made a buying decision. In fact, I remember being at a Millionaire Mind intensive with T. Harv Eker. I flew to Toronto to go to this event, and he would let people know, this person's just become a quantum member. They basically bought the whole menu of items, and everybody would applaud, and then other people would just follow suit. It was like incredible. And I learned that about 25 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
It's social proof live.
Yeah, I mean, I was out at a mastermind for copywriters, and I knew that they were selling $10,000 mastermind. And I went up and talked to several people who were in it just because I just wanted to hear it from them. I did not end up joining it this time because,
Sure, it's 10 grand.
COVID was hitting. COVID was hitting, and I'm like, I don't know if I have $1,000 a month to kick to you guys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe next year.
I hear
we'll
you.
See.
It was interesting because I mean, Craig's price has now gone up to $2,000 a month, but I'm paying him $1,000 a month. And when I first met him, like there was all these people around him, and I spoke to some other people, and that's what helped convince me he's the guy. Yeah. So anyways, that's a little bit on the popcorn method. I wanted to share that with you. The other one is dealing with time vampires.
Oh.
Right. It's a big part of being able to, schedule your day. I don't have a problem spending time with customers. But if I've got a prospect who's grilling me for information and I'm not out to give my shit away. So I've got to be able to, effectively set the tone to the meeting. So remember, when you make your first 15-minute call, be very specific. If the call goes a little bit longer than you had planned, come back to it. It's like, hey, you know what? I got to go. For me, like I've got a little bit of time after 11 my time today. I've scheduled that. However, I mean, I can only go so far. With a prospect, listen, if I'm not feeling it, like in the world of retail, it's a busy Saturday. I'd say, folks, my sense is that you're not going to buy today, and that's totally okay. Let's take a look on the calendar as when is a good time when I have an open space so I can share with you a little bit more in terms of what you're looking for. But there's some other folks that I need to deal with right now. And I think that's important to be able to set that boundary. So it's my sense is you're not ready to make a decision today, and that's okay. I've got other calls to make right now that there are other people that want to get together with me and work. And so I have to do that. Is there something that we can set up as a time that's going to be appropriate for you in the future? If they're a prospect that I'm not sure if they're waffling or not, there's two things that are going to happen. Sometimes it's going to be, oh, no, I'm ready to make a decision now. Okay, great. What are we doing? So like, okay, time vamp, let's go. On the flip side, it's, listen, look at your calendar and go, I've got some openings here, and set up a time. Otherwise, if they're not serious, they're not going to book a time. And if you're professional enough to know, turn the page, because I don't want to deal with the wrong. I get to pick my clients. So if somebody's a time vamp, and I think in your world you get to pre-qualify a little bit better with being out there, which is great. In the world of retail, sometimes you just have like this walk-in, and it's like, oh, tell me about this. It's like, hey, man. And so again, if somebody says, so tell me about your copywriting, don't start telling them about copywriting. Say, hey, you know what? I totally appreciate that you're asking the question. So have you ever dealt with a copywriter before? How did you hear about me? Go into your template. Go right into your sales
Just
question.
Put it back on them. Yeah. Absolutely.
You're the guy who's asking the questions. Whoever asks the questions takes control of the conversation and say, okay, not a problem. I'm happy to tell you a little bit about copywriting. I'm curious though, have you ever spoken to a copywriter before? What's your business? Who's your target customer? How did you hear about me? Where specifically? You start asking questions. Well, here's the deal. I've got about another 10 minutes to go, right? If you're going to just answer your call, which I will, if somebody calls me randomly off my phone, more often than not now I'm doing Calendly. So I want to show you this PowerPoint. It's called Give Good Phone. And then we'll reschedule. In fact, what's tomorrow morning like for you? Same time.
Let me look real quick. See what I got going on tomorrow.
And we'll be able to finish tomorrow.
Okay.
I rambled a couple of times, so I apologize.
No problem. Tomorrow morning works for me.
All right, 9 a.m. I'll send you the link. I'll send you a whole the added photos and some extra stuff, the DM tracker, the beginnings of the Word document for your template.
Awesome.
So we'll have a little bit of review and the recording of this. But I'm going to do I'm going to share my screen with you real quick.
Okay.
And we'll do a, I should have give good phone right here. All right. Really, it's a quick PowerPoint. So the idea of giving good phone is, how do you want to turn your prospects into buyers using telephone skills? And under the premise that, we want to know who our customer is, what's the demographic, even location. Hey, where are you calling from? And asking them, like where specifically, and getting into a little bit of the per side without dusting too far, what's the weather like and so on and so forth, and asking them, hey, like, who is your customer? What marketing sources are they hearing you from? Again, I talked about the importance of, the marketing metrics. How did you get my name and number? Or how did you come across me? So measure your metrics, critically important. Calling you because you're an expert, because you have advice, and the great thing is that if you're on the phone with them, that you can speed up their research by saying, hey, listen, I'm going to help speed things up, and I'm going to be able to provide you with solutions right now, right? Because you're the best at it. Like, that's it. So what I'm typically asking you on a call, right? When can you start? How much? And if it's product related, like as opposed to service related, it's in stock. But for you, it's how much is your service? Remember, we talked about, are they open, or are they looking for the best price? Sometimes it's not about best price, Daniel. It's just about, can they get a little something extra? So my sense is that you might be looking for a little bit of a deal here. Am I right on that? Yeah, I mean, would you be able to, can you give me a deal? Hey, I appreciate that you're looking for a deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And then you could, I've been able to use that. It's awesome. It's awesome. And again, over the phone. So what's your desired outcome from the incoming call? Are you looking to educate them, inform them, or just get marketing data? Or is it you're building a relationship through know, like, and trust? So to me, if you're spending way too much time educating the caller, you're giving away the farm, right? You want to provide them with what you have in terms of, here's what I do, informing them. But if I'm giving way too much value away on my call, it's okay to be able to give them small wins. Like, I can say, hey man, I'm going to show you how to be able to handle the objection of your product's too expensive. Or I'll tell you what my SOS formula is. It's acknowledge, ask a question, right? So somebody says to me, your service is too expensive, Joe. Hey, step one, thanks for letting me know how you feel, Daniel. Step two, what exactly are we comparing it to? And I'm going to explain the process a little bit, but ultimately you got to practice that so that when somebody says, man, that's a lot of money. Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. I mean, it's your opinion. What exactly are we comparing it to? And what's interesting is 9 times out of 10, they don't know what they're comparing it to. And if they do have a comparable, then you could find out, and you're able to counter that. We want to build the relationship through KLT, right? Know, love, and trust, know, like, and trust. And then after we've been able to do the first thing, then we want to micro close for the next appointment. And then we want to make that an irresistible offer, whether it's, hey, my sense is that you're looking for a little bit of a deal, or here's what's going on. Right now through the month of June, I'm doing a deal. I'm providing this email thing to go along with this, but it's only on until the 30th. What do you think? You want to do this? And make that irresistible offer and selling it over the phone. Tools over the phone that I'm a big believer in is have your template at the ready, your incoming call script, right? So we've been working this already for the last couple of days. Obviously, pen, paper, and calendar. You wouldn't believe how many retailers are so fucked up that they don't have a calendar. Hey, well, tell me about your bikes. I'm not going to sell a bike over the phone. I got to get you in for a test ride. So it's like, tell me about your copywriting. I'm not going to sell on the first time that I get you on the call. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you hear about me? Okay, what is it that you do? Take notes, take notes, take notes. And then follow up. Be prepared to set up your next call. Make sure that you have your microwave stuff at the ready. Top questions that I'm using the bike example here. First time that you call me or our space, how did you hear about us? You ever tried one of our products before? Have you ever done anybody do some copywriting work for you? How did it work out? What did you like? What did you dislike? And again, get them into the, if you don't have their email address, by this point you probably do, because you've been able to send out something for a Calendly link. But I use this in the context of a retail engagement. Your sales voice will give you away. Highest energy wins, Danny. We talked about this yesterday. I can't say it enough. If you've got up 2 minutes before your call, jump up and down, get ready, and especially when you're on your second call, where you're going, okay, is it Visa, MasterCard, PayPal? Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. I mean, we got this, because I'm going to help people. My energy level is critical to be able to close. There's no such thing as like the idea of I'm too cool. I got to be, no. It's I have to convey my energy. It's got to come through this thing to you. Absolutely hardcore. And it's not about closing in the sense of like, will that be cash or no. It's, I got to come across as that, like, doing business with me is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a ton of value. And the belief is the power. Like we talked about earlier, communication is 7% words, 38% tone, 55% body language. So my sense is that you're and this is the Moravian law of communication. So again, I'm on a call. It's like, you know what, Daniel, my sense is that you might be looking for a deal here. Am I wrong on that? Well, yeah, what kind of deal can you give me, Joe? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal, Daniel. What did you have in mind? And then they say, well, can you give me $2,000 off? Daniel, acknowledge. I really appreciate that you're looking for a killer deal, but that would knock me out of business. What is a win-win that you could have in mind that would be a win-win for both of us? And get them back into the range that we talked earlier about, whatever your range is. I think that some people have this whole thing that they're so firm on their price that they don't have the option to be able to communicate that stack of value. When you stack value, you're going to close more. Have your script ready. So again, I'm going to, later today, you'll get a little bit more of the Word document script. So I'm putting this in here for my piece of homework to send to you. Even though you've been taking notes, again, you'll be able to edit it. So, cool. But be prepared. It's not just for Boy Scouts, right? I mean,
Sounds
when
good.
you have your script, it's true though. You're here. Yeah. I mean, I have an incoming call script that I use for SOS clients. Like, so I have a litany of questions. Some of the questions skip over depending on where the call is going.
Yeah.
So, and I'll share that with you. I put in the SOS script, and feel free to swipe it and you use it to your level. It's whatever you want to use.
Awesome.
So are you taking women over the phone? Currently, I don't. I just do everything PayPal. I just say, I'm going to send you a PayPal link and we're going to go, because I find that I do all my invoicing on PayPal. I don't separate everything. I just want to do it all under one roof. And lead cycles has been done under PayPal as well. So, and I let Shauna and Chris set up the PayPal buttons so that they automate. So I don't want to have to worry about that shit. I just leave that to other
totally
people. So I like it that way. What do you provide that others do not? What's your differentiating value? What separates you? Right now, I can tell you, and again, I haven't spoken to many copywriters on my time. I mean, really, I've spoken to Isaac and you, maybe Craig. Craig's a believer in stacking value. Does he discount? Nope. But does he stack value? Clearly he does. I don't know about Isaac. I haven't asked him. He's in the dojo, but we've never done Army of One. I can tell you, but based on what little I know about Isaac's approach, my sense would be that you have something now that he doesn't have, which is, hey, my sense is that you might be looking for a deal. So that's not just your differentiating value in terms of what makes you different. You now have an approach that doesn't come across as pushy or salesy. Because you can ask, because again, it's not about price. It's about that sense of, I want to be able to get something. And what can you say that makes your offer irresistible? Don't discount. And are you asking? It amazes me whether I've been present, standing next to people on a phone call, or I've been live with. Sorry, honey. Yeah, he won't be long. Are you asking? Too many salespeople don't just fear of asking for the sale. If you don't ask, you don't get. The worst case scenario is going to say no. No just means no for now. An objection is not a rejection. We're going to go over this on our next call. We're going to go a little bit deeper in the SOS. Are you asking for referrals? We're going to talk about how you have an obligation to ask your customers on a regular basis for referrals, for testimonials. You need to have high energy. You have to have your script. You got to take notes. You got to micro close. You got to offer things that whether it's a free ride or a free draw, or, hey, do you want to enter? Even if somebody's on the fence, it's like, hey, do you want to enter my draw for a free email script? You're on a phone call and you're not sure. They'll just put them in a drip campaign, and then if somebody wins it, they win a free email drip campaign from you. Then what you do is you get on a phone call like this, and you go, hey, everybody, it's Daniel Lamb on your social media pages. Joe Marcoux here just won our free email script draw. And Joe, how long is this campaign going to go for? And you put it up on social media, and you let people know that you're doing what you're doing. Ask for the sale, ask for referrals, ask for testimonials. All right. It is shortly after 11. I'm guessing that you might have to get outside with the dogs.
I do. Yep.
All right.
It's time to take them out for their noon walk. So.
Okay, man. So I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 my time, right. 10 your time.
Sounds
I'll send
good.
you some stuff later today, and we'll be finished for sure tomorrow.
All right. Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you and your time today.
All right.
Great job.
You too.
Talk to you soon.
All right. See
you.
you.
All
right.
Bye.